Councilor Ludwick.
I'll try to be real brief. Just again, there's a history of the sewer fee, and again, the reason why you have a sewer fee, and actually you pay less than what it was in your original tax rate, because back when the prisons came to town, it was such a, again, we're getting pilot money, which is the ruse every community goes through when we do some of this stuff. We're going to get all this state money, and it's going to be great for the town. There's always a cost to that. Guess what? It overwhelmed our sewer system back in the 80s and the 90s. The deal was struck with the state back in the 90s. It was a terrible deal for the town. In the 2000s, where it was terrible for us. And then, exactly, the plant got overwhelmed. We were behind on maintenance. The state was going to shut it down. I think they were charging $1 million. The DEP was going to do a fine of $1 million a month or something. And I apologize, I don't know exactly off the top of my head. But that's the reason why we had to go to a sewer fee. So we could qualify for no interest loans to redo the plant, which now is one of the highest. It's a very efficient plant. You as taxpayers paid $36 million for a low interest loan. So now it's running efficiently. And for example, last year during a hurricane, on average, that, again, plant 7 million gallons of water a day. During that hurricane in August last year, 22 million gallons of water went through that plant. Do the math. If that plant wasn't upgraded, which you folks invested in, the sewer fee, again, is there for a reason, because we had to qualify for low interest loans from the state, because the state was going to fine us and shut us down. So I don't like the sewer fee either, but it actually is a better deal than a lot of towns pay. Go do your research. If you're going to live in Connecticut, Enfield's a great deal when it comes to taxes. And I hate to say that as a conservative, but it's true. And so, again, and there was a presentation out on the manager's website, the prior manager, I don't know if it's still there, that went soup to nuts, explained everything, the reason why decisions were made. All public information, presentation done 2 years ago, all out there for you if you want to go take a look. So the sewer fee, whether you want to pay it or not, it's actually a pretty good deal. And by the way, you got a great investment in a $40 million plant that it was able to handle 22 million gallons of water during a hurricane. Other towns in Connecticut actually flooded during the hurricane of last year. And if you looked around the country, so would you rather have a flooded neighborhood or, a upgraded water pollution control plant that folks did, again, out of the ruse of having pilot money from the state, which every year the state cut our pilot money. Okay, and guess what? Our police still have to go up there. Our EMS still has to go up there. That's a cost to you as a local taxpayer. So when you always hear the ruse, we're getting all this revenue, remember there's another side of the ledger if you don't know anything about accounting. It's called cost. Folks got to remember it. Okay, I'm sorry, I want to set the record straight because I'm sorry, folks need to remember why we did that. Real quick, through the mayor to the manager, thank you very much for the rambler explanation, but could you just explain it to me a little more? What is actually being moved? What still needs to be? I'm sorry, I appreciate the explanation. I'm not trying to put you in a spot, but I just want to be able to be clear what we're actually moving, if you could, or if you can, or if you want to get back to us, that's fine. Perfect. Appreciate it. Thank you. And again, I know I asked you last meeting, not again, mayor to the manager, not to put you on the spot. Again, we're going to need some of that ARPA money to help people with utilities. I mean, I know there's a little bit of disconnect whether you think this, the strategic reserve is being spent down. Again, if you just purchased oil, you just purchased, it's a pretty hit to everyone's budget. And we need to save some of that money. And I respectfully ask that we get a ruling from our consultant that we hired that can we use the ARPA money to help people pay their utility bill. I'm scared to what's going to happen in 3 weeks when, at some point now, it's already starting to edge up. If you buy oil, if you have oil heat, even if you have electric heat, I mean, everyone sees, inflation isn't 8% on utilities, okay? It's something much higher. And we need, again, a request if we could see if we can use the money, and as we spend some, I still have around $800,000 left. I have a feeling we're going to need that for every resident in town. And again, just if you could see if we can, if it's legal based on the guidelines, I think it is. I've done some research, but I'd rather have it signed off so we have that money set aside. And I'd appreciate it for next meeting, because again, it's getting close. And I think the cost has gone up, and if folks have just purchased oil, know exactly how much they're paying for, even for 100 gallons. Sorry, one last. That's sort of the theme, and again, and Chad's brought it up. I mean, the Bedards are good people, and I know the people on Francis Ave are good people. I mean, we should be able to work this out. I understand. Listen, I'm not dismissing someone waking you up at 2 in the morning. I'm not. But again, these are good people. They invested in a building, and I understand it's hard on you if you live on that street. So I don't live there, so I know I'm speaking a little bit out of church. So I apologize. But I mean, you all seem like good people here. We should be able to work this out. I don't know if our traffic division can get involved. where we have, just talk about some of the parking. I don't know if we can go to permit parking, but some sort of special arrangement for folks who park on that area. Because again, they run a reputable business, and that's a beautiful neighborhood. So there's got to be somewhere we can meet in the middle somewheres. And I'm hoping we can. Maybe it's through the traffic division, and maybe another reference to the public safety subcommittee, just throwing it out there. I know we had some other ones that you sent over prior. So I think this is something we can work out. A business that's been there that long, and then folks who live in a beautiful neighborhood right off of Route 5. So just hoping maybe we can just dial it back just a tad. Because again, these are reputable business owners and these are reputable homeowners. So we're starting out, I think, in A plus B could equal C here, if you know anything about algebra. So I think I'm done, sorry. Sorry, I thought I had one more point. Oh, and sorry, and again, through the mayor to the manager, I'm not trying to put you on a spot, I really not. But the last 2 years, we didn't charge for vendors at the farmer's market, and I think last year we had 120 at one point. And I understand we got budget's tight, so I'm not dismissing, but we also gave free ice cream, meaning taxpayers, yes, when I say free, the taxpayers paid for it, not the town. But I mean, we actually had an ice cream truck every Sunday, and I thought, and again, I don't want to speak out of church, but we did have someone from the town allowing access to the bathrooms down here for handicap. So I thought we had done that already, and again, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm pretty sure we did that the last 2 years. Prior to the last 2 years, when it was on a Wednesday night, I believe we did charge, if I recall, and I wish I should know that off the top of my head, but I thought we did. But we decided when we reopened, refurbished the farmer's market 2 years ago on Sundays, we definitely weren't charging. And actually, we were getting vendors from all over the state, not just Enfield. I mean, I remember talking to a nice lady from Bridgeport who came all up here, and she appreciated we weren't charging. So maybe that's, also I know there's some question on whether we're doing it in the mall or not. I understand the issues with the mall, but again, another very successful program when we did in the mall, and again, we didn't charge anybody. So just throwing it out there. Thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate it.
Okay.